Hello everybody and welcome to another ACC track guide from Traxion. In this episode we are covering everyone's second favourite Belgian circuit, Zolder. It may not be quite as popular as Spa in general, but it's still a superb racetrack, with some of the most dynamic chicanes you will find anywhere, and a nice balance of fast and slow sections. Given the amount of curbs you will be coming across over the course of a lap, it may come as no surprise to know that we've picked the Mercedes for this one. You can definitely be competitive in lots of different cars here, but the Merc is a good place to start as you can learn the circuit with the most forgiveness, and build your confidence that way. Without further ado, let's jump into the analysis. Staying over to the right for turn 1, brake just before you go under the overhead banner. Change down to third and turn in reasonably early, aiming to run over the striped curb at the apex. Feel free to use a little bit of the extra inside curbing if your car is set up to allow it. Get on the power just after you run through the apex, using all of the exit curb. Run back to the left hand side and start braking just as the circuit kinks back to the right, changing down to second gear. Aim to hit the apex reasonably late, trail braking on your way in to get the car slowed up nicely. Similar to turn 1, you want to mount the striped section of curbing with your inside wheels, and don't be afraid to get on the power nice and early. At first it naturally feels like it's too early to get on the power at the apex, and it feels like you will understeer way off the circuit, but once you've tried it you'll realise that you can actually carry a lot of speed out to the exit curb without any issues, so make sure you practice and get comfortable. You can keep your steering lock on after the exit and take the next corner flat out, staying left in preparation for turn 4. Brake just after you cross the first tarmac access road on the left, shifting down to third. Turn in nice and late, aiming for a late apex. Increase your steering lock once you're into the corner, and aim to hit the curbing on the inside. Feel free to use all of it, including the raised section beyond the main curb, as most cars are set up to tackle curbs with ease at Zolder. You will see why later. Get the power on as you hit the apex, and use all of the exit curb. Just watch out as it's pretty narrow. Drift back to the right as you head down towards the first chicane. This is the first section where car setup becomes crucial. Brake halfway between the 100 metre board and the red and white wall. Shift down to second and get the car turned in early, trail braking if required. You want to cut a lot of the first inside curb, putting two wheels well up on the raised section. As soon as you're over it, straighten the steering and get back on the power to tackle the second part. Again, you want to cut this curbing in a similar fashion, as to straight line the whole chicane as much as possible. Just be wary of the second one in particular, as this can easily throw you up in the air, and sometimes if you hit it at a slightly awkward angle, the landing can be unpredictable. The main thing here is to practice and get comfortable with the curbs for yourself. On this lap I felt the car get slightly out of shape on landing, so I made a quick correction to the left in order to keep it moving as straight as possible. As you head back down the hill, keep tucked into the left and get ready to brake in a straight line as soon as you're through the left-hander. Change to second and turn into the corner while still braking. You can gain huge amounts of perfectly legal lap time here by exploiting the inside curbs as much as possible, so I would recommend cutting about 80% of the red sausage curbs on the inside. You should naturally come out somewhere towards the next left-hander, so quickly change direction and aim again to cut about 80% of the red sausage curbs, keeping to the left and easing onto the power not long after. This gives you a wider line for the right and allows you to apply a little bit more throttle through here. Put your two right wheels on top of the striped curbing and you should naturally drift out to the left and onto the exit curb. By this point you will be on full power, aiming to hit the striped curbing on the inside of the next right-hander about midway through the corner. Get the line right and you will have nailed this entire section, carrying the speed into the next part. Get it slightly wrong however and you will understeer out wide onto the grass and waste valuable lap time. Keep it pinned through the left kink and stay left for the hairpin. Brake just before the 100 metre board. When you turn in, make sure you aim to get your car fully on top of the striped apex curb, as this will give you lots of grip and help pull the car around the corner surprisingly quickly. If you run wide through here, it's a massive time killer. Get in the power nice and early, using the exit curb and then straight line the small corners after the exit. For the final chicane, brake halfway between the 100 metre board and the overhead sign, shifting all the way through the box to first. Again, it's absolutely crucial here to cut all of the inside curb, and you should manage this if you get slowed up quickly enough and turn in just at the end of the right hand entry curb. Get all over the green and red curbing. Get on the power and switch direction, short shifting to second and dragging the car straight over the curbing on the right as well. This should allow for a quick exit onto the pit straight, using all of the curbing to complete our lap of the Zolder circuit on Assetto Corsa Competizione. I say complete, it was probably about 95%, we probably cut the other 5%. Now let's play it for you at full speed to show you how it all flows together. So there we have it. Zolder is definitely a place that requires experimenting with the curbs, as every car will differ in terms of how much you can actually cut. The biggest mistake most people make around here is they don't push the boundaries of the track limits, and just assume that they can't cut any more than they are already. I would highly recommend going round and trying to cut every corner as much as you can, just to see what you can get away with. It can literally gain you seconds and might be the difference between the back and the front of the grid. Here we have the lap time I set in the video, plus a couple of reference lap times ranging from AM to Pro. AM represents a good time to set when you're first learning the circuit, Pro-Am is a good place to start if you want to race online, and Pro is the quickest kind of lap times you will ever expect to see around the circuit. To finish up, here is my 10-second summary of the key points from Circuit Zolder. Early apex and use the curb through 1, carry more speed than you think out of 2, late apex through 4 and obliterate the curbs through the first chicane, completely ignore the circuit in the second, cutting everywhere, flat through the next bit, hug the inside of the hairpin and use the curb fully, power down early, slow into the last chicane to nail the curbs and fast out. So that concludes our latest track guide on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Thanks as always for tuning in, and we hope this series is helping you with your racing. If you disagree with what I'm saying, be sure to let us know in the comments below and leave us a like if you've enjoyed it. Remember that if you want to see more racing game content, subscribe to the Traxion channel and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep it pinned, thanks, and have a great day.